welcome back to my channel. We've got two impulses over here. Actually, three. One is a really nicely done up, decked up impulse. This is a stock impulse. This is approximately 10 years old, and this one is off-road centric. Everything has been changed from the engine to the piston to the exhaust to the body frame A to Z. So why don't I just introduce the owners first? Brandon owns the stock impulse over here, and Kabir over here owns the completely done up impulse with reference to off-road capabilities. So, Brandon, to begin with, this is a 10-year-old impulse, right?
Yes.
And you've kept it as stock as possible.
Yes.
Number one, with reference to spare parts availability, if a person wants to purchase an impulse as a beginner bike for off-roading,
Right.
would you suggest them to purchase an impulse or just go for the technologically superior Xpulse?
Well, I wouldn't say give them suggestions. I would openly say go in for an impulse, because any beginner, I would rather tell them to go in for an impulse to learn and then go for a technical bike. Then they
But the
could jump.
Xpulse is as simple as it can be, right? It just has a
Very-
fuel injection and a
Very clear. But handling starts with an impulse, then it's an upgrade. Because an Xpulse
Okay.
is a 200cc. This is a 150cc.
Okay.
So to start with a 150cc, then upgrade to a 200cc.
Okay.
And the specs, I'll tell you what's the difference in that. The difference in that is the front end suspension, the rear suspension. Okay. So the angle of the bike and the degree of the bike is totally different compared to the impulse and the Xpulse.
Okay.
Is of this bike, the best part of this impulse is I like it. It's well balanced. So when you ride on you ride off road, or you ride when you go on dirt or trails, right? You can actually balance your bike by standing and just leaving a handle as well.
Okay.
But I've noticed on an Xpulse when I ride, it's not that stable. So this is much more stable to handle than your
Xpulse. Okay.
Yeah.
And more importantly, with reference to spare part availability, I'm sure that is a pain point for them.
Well, it is, but there are a couple of people who supply these, especially only impulse parts. So if you're in contact with them, definitely it's not a difficult part to get the spare parts. Unless you modify your bike, say for example what
Kabir has done, which is
So that would be a bit difficult. Once you modify a bike, you have to buy spare parts and keep it.
Okay.
So it becomes easy to change it whenever there is any issue.
But with reference to modification, also the engine becomes drastically less reliable as opposed to a stock
definitely it does. So as for stock, your maintenance is low, but compared to his bike, because it's modified, the maintenance a bit high. And on that basis, like I would not need to change engine oil regularly.
You have to change the engine oil, say, every 5,000 kilometers?
Yeah, approximately 5. Now with him, it would be like 1,500 kilometers. Yeah. So it's that way.
Okay.
That also 1,500 kilometers depending on how you ride.
Okay.
On the capability of the person.
Okay.
So it's that way. So now, say for example, if he changes his engine oil, he will have to get the bike entirely serviced and also check his clutch plates very often.
Okay.
Because
you're running on stock clutch plates.
Yes. The
Stock
clutch
clutch
plates are
plates.
stock.
Hmm.
And the block piston is 65.5 mm.
In terms of
It's
cubic
around
capacity.
192.
192 cc.
It's 192.
Okay.
And I have upgraded the front sprocket. It is 15 feet. The normal stock sprocket is 17.
Okay.
Yes. And this body kit, this is a Chinese CRF body kit,
Okay.
which is looks very different as compared to
It
the
does.
stock one.
What's the fuel tank capacity over here?
It's 8 liter.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Oh. Okay. I'm inquisitive. How
But this body is made of plastic, so it reduces the weight.
Okay.
So that is the plus point for the off-road purpose.
But again, I mean, a stock impulse, it is plastic throughout except for the tank.
weight ratio of the bike. So Now, if you compare his bike and if I have the same 190 engine, 190cc engine on my bike, his bike would run much faster than mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have any specifications in terms of numbers 0 to 60, 0 to 100? Have you checked your top speed with the change in piston?
Not yet. Like I have put it this block piston recently.
Okay.
So I haven't checked the ratio of seconds and
Acha,
throttle pick.
kitna fast hai?
Yes, yes.
Acha.
Apart this, I have changed the wheel size. This is a Xpulse wheel.
Acha, you have the 19.
Yeah, he's got,
21.
he's got the one 2118 he's got.
Okay.
And the stock has got the
1970.
17.
Yeah.
So, if I'm not
This is a proper motocross setup.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this can turn better, this can handle off-road better. I'm assuming that's the difference because I've also noticed the difference in terms of the wheel size.
So his front end is still stock. He's not done any. He's not put any fork sizes.
Okay.
But I've apparently put fork sizes for front end to make it slightly taller, which helps in handling, handling the bike on turns. It's more comfortable way than that. So if I set up the same wheel on my bike, the 21, it'll be much more comfortable.
And in terms of risers, how many inches?
This is a 3-inch risers that I put.
Okay, 3 inches.
So that's why it's way taller than his
But usually with the Impulse riders, I've noticed this is an absolute must.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is for off-roading.
For trails, it is good for trails.
For trails, especially when you ride trails, you need
So
to have
it
that.
doesn't walk
Yeah.
because
So
of the
it-
long
exactly long travel, so it doesn't walk.
travel. Okay, and another interesting part of this bike is the exhaust and the way it sounds as well. So could you just start the bike?
Yeah. And another mod I forgot to say. This is not a stock car.
Okay.
This is a Pulsar 200 NS car.
Oh, the 200 NS. Okay.
Yes. This is a 200 NS car. This gives more good initial.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you haven't changed the air filter?
No, air filter is stock. There is no need to change the air filter.
With a bigger piston, bigger carb, I'm sure there must be more air required, right?
Actually, we ride on off-road, so
Lot
it's
of
like
dust.
we need to change our air filter on every 2 rides.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we put the aftermarket exhaust, aftermarket filter,
The
I
KN,
don't know.
it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I understand.
This is a knobby tire made for. This is a dual-purpose tire. It can be used for on-road also. It's a hard compound.
It's a hard compound. So,
Yeah. So
what's
we can
the-
ride it on on-road too.
how many kilometers will this last on road?
9 to 10,000.
That's good.
Yeah.
And Brandon, about your tire?
Yeah, my tires actually, both my tires are totally off-road. So it's like you can say 70-30.
Okay.
So both my tires are Michelin tires.
And how long would these last?
These would, if I'm going to use them on, say, on street, if I would use, it would just last me, say, hardly some 1,000 kilometers. But if
That's
I
it.
use it off-road, I can use it for like 4 to 5,000 kilometers, or maybe more,
Okay.
depending on what track we're riding, whether the track is too hard or too soft,
Okay.
depending.
And I can see you put an oversized tire in the front
Yeah,
as well.
as well as
So what's the front tire size? 110.
yeah. The front is 110, and the rear is a 130.
130. Yes. As opposed to 90 and 110 in stock, right?
Yes. 90.
So isn't it a little strain on the engine since
It is, but there's some R&D that I'm trying on this bike.
you have changed the sprocket.
Yes, I have changed the front sprocket from 17 to 14
Okay.
as of now. So there's some R&D going on the bike.
Okay. So with reference to your modification, just the engine alone, how expensive is it?